Hello, welcome to Real Stream's Top 10s. This week we're doing the top 10 most badass video game characters in video game history. Now keep in mind, there are a ton of video game characters that are really badass. So if your favorite guy didn't make the list, don't come crying to us. I mean, these are our opinions, seriously. If you think that somebody deserves to be higher, make your own list, alright? You have a YouTube account, obviously. That being said, here are some of the, what do you want to say, guidelines to this list. First of all, one character per franchise. Secondly, we're not including video game characters that are made popular by other forms of media, such as comics or movies. So, Batman's not going to be on this list, neither is Darth Vader. So, let's get right to it. Number 10.
Ezio alle Torre da Firenze.
The video game franchise Assassin's Creed always has a really badass main character. I mean, think about it. You're a master assassin. What's more badass than that? But of the three badass assassins, Ezio is the most badass, and here's why. The guy actually has a personality. Secondly, Ezio is like a Renaissance James Bond, you know? He sleeps with ladies, he kills people. Dude's awesome. Number 9 is Link from the Legend of Zelda series. Now I know what you're thinking, what's Link doing on this list? Well, first of all, what makes Link a badass is the fact that most of his adventures take place when he's a kid. I mean, the dude's running around dungeons, killing monsters, not just like little skull kids, I'm talking like big monsters, like freaking giant spiders and dinosaurs. Alright, I couldn't sleep with my closet open when I was 6 years old. Link's running around cutting people's heads off. Alright, that's pretty badass. I suppose having the Triforce of Courage does do something to that effect. Number 8. That's right, it's Mr. Sephiroth. I understand, a lot of people out there are probably saying, oh, that's a really trendy pick. Well, here's the deal. What makes Sephiroth so badass is the fact that he's a one-man army. And he carries a blade that's like twice the size of him. Link's huge. I've seen this actual blade in real life. I mean, it's bigger than that wall over there. Who does that? The guy carries a huge... And plus, he like, you know, killed somebody important, but Game of Thrones, The Walking Dead, I'm kind of desensitized to main characters dying. Number 7, Ike. Now, talking about guys who carry huge swords, Ike carries a two-handed sword. But what makes him really badass is the fact that he carries this sword with one hand. A two-handed sword with one hand. And what makes Ike even cooler is when he plays in Brawl, he is one of the strongest characters in the game. I mean, one hit could, like, kill you instantly. Plus, in the Fire Emblem series, you know, he starts off as just this kind of like newbie dirt. But then, the guy kills a god. I mean, how do you not make the list if you kill a god? I mean, you kill a god! Who does that? That's badass. Now, number 6. I feel like we couldn't really have a top 10 most badass character and not include somebody from the Metal Gear Solid franchise. I mean, that franchise has so many badass characters in general. I mean, we could probably make a top 10 most badass countdown from that list alone. That being said, it came down to 2 characters from that franchise. Runner-up was Solid Snake. I know, you're feeling kind of bad, but the one who won is really badass. That's right, number 6 is Big Boss. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh my gosh, Snake is so much better than Big Boss because you saw Snake. Well, Big Boss was Snake before Snake was ever even Snake. And when Big Boss was Snake, he had to like crawl around with regular camouflage, not active camouflage. Plus, the guy's a master of CQC. And he fought, you know, freaks way before Snake did. And at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, the guy's like in his 80s. And he's still kicking ass. That, my friends, is one badass. Alright, number 5. Julius Belmount. Now the Belmount family from the Castlevania series is tasked with the job of keeping Dracula in check. Which is kind of crazy to think about it. It's like a family tasked with keeping the devil himself in check. Because Dracula is kind of badass. They fight monsters and demons and zombies. And they're all armed with a whip. A freaking whip! I've never seen that in The Walking Dead. No one's ever killed a zombie with a whip. These guys do. That's freaking badass. What makes Julius the most badass of his family, however, is the fact that he actually stopped Dracula's resurrection altogether. I mean, he was the one who actually did it. That's why he's number 5 on our top 10 badass characters. Number 4. Number 4 is Donkey Kong. Wow, Donkey Kong's higher than all those guys? Yeah. He's the original gangster. He was stealing Mario's girlfriends before Bowser. Also, in Donkey Kong, he punched the moon out of the sky. Freaking punches the moon out of the sky! I mean, nobody does that. That's why he's number 4.
Well, here's the the super sheep.
Abducted when he was a child, the Master Chief went through rigorous training to become a superhuman killing machine for the government. And then the Covenant struck. And that gave him a real good excuse to start killing people. So, what makes the Master Chief that badass is the fact that in the very first game, he destroys a Halo, kills an entire armada of Covenant troops. Keep in mind, it's hard to kill, Covenant soldiers in general, unless you're Covenant drones. But an entire armada of them, as one man, that's pretty badass. And in his spare time, he likes to punch prophets in the face. Number 2 is Kratos. The main character in the God of War series, he's also known as the Ghost of Sparta, due to the fact that his skin is covered with the ashes of his wife and child. The reason why this happened was he actually murdered them on accident. He was tricked by the god of war, also known as Ares. After this, he decided to call a blood vengeance and kill every single god. Like all of them. A man. Killed every single god. God of War 1 through 3. And he also killed the Titans. That's pretty badass. I don't care who you are. Alright, number 1. Commander Shepard. Now what makes Commander Shepard so badass is the guy is essentially a one-man army. Plus, the guy has one of the best ships in the galaxy. Sorry, Han. It belongs to Commander Shepard. And what's also great about Commander Shepard is he could be a guy, he could be a girl. Which kind of makes this the only girl on this list. Go figure. But what makes Commander Shepard the most badass character is the fact that you are Commander Shepard. So, Commander Shepard's badassery is completely tangent with your own badassery. So if you're running around punching people in the face, and throwing people out of buildings, and bum rushing Geth, and collectors, and reapers, that just goes to show, if you had biotic powers, you'd be a badass. I'm Charles Montoya, and this is our top 10 badass video game characters of all time.